Mind heritage, empowering mind.
So what is bullying? Talk about bullying. You're a female or they tell you you're a tomboy. You know, we have heard these words and they're being used. Social bullying, where maybe we isolate people from groups. We have our own cocoons and we tend to throw away people that don't belong to them. Or when somebody comes, you tend to isolate them and everybody walks away. Then also we have instances where we stop other people from talking. You're in a group, you're in a class, and when somebody tries to talk, you pull them down or you belittle them. Then sharing memes. Okay, sharing memes. Then creating fake media accounts. Then we have shaming somebody publicly. That one we very well know. You comment negatively or you say something when there are people, and this normally happens with us teachers. It happens unconsciously. Somebody says something in class and you belittle them. The third is physical bullying. It can be slapping, blocking somebody's path. We have seen this with kids. Like somebody is walking and another comes in front of him or hand starts, you may think they are joking, but psychologically this person is being belittled. But why do we bully? Bullying is more or less of a volcano. When you look at a volcano, it's not the moment that it erupts that it has actually erupted. There are small things within the lava, boils and boils and boils. By the time it erupts, there are so many things within that are happening. And the first is that some of us are bullied on school breaks, during break time. That's the moment people take advantage of doing what they have to do. The second is on school trips, especially children that are going far away or going for a trip, entrepreneurship trip, or any other trip. On the bus, people are bullied. Maybe somebody is refused to be given a seat, or somebody sits in somebody's seat as if they have been labeled, or somebody refuses to sit with someone, says, I cannot sit with them. Unsupervised corners. We know in this school or in schools we have those corners where big boys and big girls stand and have their conversations. Those are the same corners that they use to bully their fellow students. Or classes, empty classes where there are no students. Then we have online, social media. We know our kids today have smartphones. So it can be online or physically in our classes. What are some of the causes of bullying? Just as a kettle, for it to have a pressure inside, there should be water, there should be fire, or heat if you may like. Now the more the heat, the more the water in the kettle boils. And it boils because it has been covered. And there's a small space for aeration, and in that process it boils so much, if you don't take it off, the kettle may even burst, if I may use the word. And the same happens with us. So some of the causes of bullying: one, peer pressure. We want to fit in. Somebody says that we want to be like the Kardashians, right? We want to fit in. We see these boys, we see these girls, we see these people, and we think we have to join their groups, and yet we are not welcome in those groups. That can be one of the causes. We need to be accepted. Remember, human beings, we are social creatures. We want to coordinate and cooperate and associate. Every time they pull you out of that community, you're belittled. That's why we have prisons, the worst place to be, because they have isolated you out of the community and the society. The second is our insecurities, our self-esteem can be a cause of bullying. I tell people that whenever you hear somebody saying, do you know who I am? Just know they're living in inadequacy. They have insecurities within. Or if somebody says, do you know who my father is or my mother is? That one has low self-esteem. And that can be a cause of bullying, because you want to be significant. You want to show people, now I have arrived, the arrival syndrome. And you want to pass it on to people around you or the people in your space. Then revenge. Revenge comes from our past. When somebody hurts you, you're looking for a way. How can I hurt them back? And at times, they are stronger than you. You have no way on how you can physically approach them. Now you go on social media, create fake accounts, use memes, use words, isolate them from your groups, as a way of bullying them. Then poor school policies. Most of our schools don't have this policy. I'm not talking about a written concept and blah blah. No, the policy of openness, creating safe spaces, as we shall cover it ahead. We don't. So we think everything is normal. Yet what we think is normal is not actually not normal. We shall see some of the symptoms. How can we tell that things are not normal? Then family backgrounds. If my daughter keeps on hearing me saying, "You know who I am?" No, if you don't call me doctor, 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 she'll also feel there is something that she has. If you don't mention it, that means you've not respected her, right? So it comes back from us parents. And there is a new form of bullying where our kids today actually bully their parents. Yes. Yes. I'll share that article with our principal King so that he can share it with you. It has happened. And trust me, everybody, all of us here, if you have kids, you're suspect of being bullied by your kid. If you are there and you think you don't want to hurt your kid, you're being bullied by that kid. Yes, you'll read it and you'll tick the box and find yourself there. Then neglect. Most of us have neglected our kids that when they come to school, they want to that dominancy to show that, okay, if it can't happen at home, it can happen at school. Let me pass it on so that people can now know that I've also arrived. So it comes back from our background, family background. What are some of the signs? If you have a car and you ignite in the morning coming to work and you check on your dashboard and see those signs, I'm sure you leave that car at home. Fuel empty, engine check, handbrake, everything, seat belt, airbag. You'll be like, this guy is not in position to deliver me where I'm going. Yes? And the same thing happens with us. Now, some of the signs of bullying: one, avoid eating, especially at school. They won't go to the cafeteria or to the dining. They isolate themselves, or they come with small foods and they want to just, have that for themselves, but they don't want to join others while they're eating. Some of them will return home with missing items or bruises. They've been beaten by peers, or they have lost their things. Every time that the people losing their pencils, the pen, the book, the mathematical set, Then sudden refusal to go to school. Some of them will start refusing to do it, to go to school. Like, I don't want to go. And you ask them why. Maybe they make up excuses. I'm not feeling fine. Right? Change in sleep patterns. You'll find the person who was sleeping early, now they're failing to sleep. Or they're actually sleeping early. Vice versa. Then isolation. They don't want to be with the rest of us, people at home, or even fellow students at school. They want to just skip solo, be alone. But this shouldn't be, when we talk about isolation, sometimes isolation is very good for kids. If at all they're trying to find themselves. Have you ever found a kid very lonely and just, what are you doing? Like, I'm thinking. And I say, what are you thinking about? I'm just thinking. Now that one is actually not thinking. They're battling something. And there are those that you find alone. When you ask them, they explain to you why they're alone. I'm just trying to figure out this. Even their facial expression and the way they express themselves will tell you that actually this person is fine. Just they're trying to figure out certain things. Then they have no sense of purpose. Some of them will tell you, what? I feel useless. What is the meaning of studying? What is the meaning of actually going to school? That's some of the things that will tell you somebody is either battling or is being bullied. If you listen in clearly, you'll find there is something pushing them away from doing what they're supposed to be doing. And frequent headaches, stomach pains, faking illness, as I've said, are some of the causes of the signs, But why should we stay silent? Some of us, or some of the kids, stay silent because they fear to be misunderstood. If I tell it to, what will they think about me? Or what will they say about me? Or this group will start shaming me or belittling me. So they find comfort in keeping silent. Second is fear of being labeled weak or a snitch. Now this one is common. If you put your ears on ground, you'll hear people calling their fellow students snitches. That one is a snitch. That one is a snitch. Why? Because maybe they reported, or they said, or they did, and now their peers have understood that now that one is the one who normally takes the information to the teachers. So they isolate them. The third is they feel that they won't be believed when they say something. They don't have trust in whoever is around them, whether with a parent, with a teacher, or even with a fellow students. They don't trust them at all. So they decide to just be silent, struggle on their own. Fear of retaliation from bullies. Yes, retaliation, we know. You report us, then the other thing, when we know it, either we throw away from the groups, we don't associate with you, we don't deal with you. You know, people who are laughing and smiling, everybody passes looking the other side. Then the other reason as to why we get so silent is that we don't have people to talk to. You realize that most of them will feel like you are part of the snitches, or you're part of the people who are going out to tell them that they have talked to you. So they don't end up not coming. Because if they come to you as a teacher and tell you their problems, and tomorrow, if it was John and John comes and said, you reported me, then John will know that actually it is the teacher who told. So they don't trust anyone. What are the effects? We very well know that when a volcano erupts, the place around or the environment around is affected. The same happens with bullying. It doesn't only affect the victim, it also affects the people around the victim. The first, let's look at the victim. They become depressed. We know what depression is. Yes? Or we know the word, but we don't know the meaning. What is depression? Madam. You just know the word. Very honest of you. Who knows what depression is? So it is a deeper loss of interest in anything. In anything. Then the second is use of substance. For example, they'll start using drugs, social media, the small screen syndrome, which is the most addictive. Many of us have fallen prey or suspect of it. So you start using, if this person maybe was, we know our kids today, most of them, I don't know here, but most of the schools today, our kids are using drugs. It's a fact. You accept or you don't accept, but that's the reality. Different substance. And they have people who bring them to the school. So if somebody was taking 1 centimeter, tomorrow they'll be taking 2 centimeters. Because they're trying to find happiness and comfort in those drugs that they're using. So there's an increase in use of drugs. Then poor academic performance. We know people that are bullied. First of all, they shy away from class. Even when they're in class, they don't concentrate because they are thinking, what is the other person thinking about me? If I say something, they're going to criticize me, they're going to bully me, they're going to belittle me, they're going to, all these negative thoughts. So they affect your level of understanding and your level of thinking. So most cases, it's not that people who perform poorly are bullied, but bullying can be part of the cause. Then self-hate. They don't believe in themselves, they feel they're inadequate, they feel they're not enough, they feel like life has no meaning. They actually, some of them will start cutting themselves, On the bullies themselves, drug involvement, You want to keep that height so that maybe you think that height is what gives you the height. And people perceive you differently. So you keep on it, trying to maintain. The other is you become abusive. Bullying itself is abusive. Now once you do it one and you walk away with it, you're going to do it the second time. You're going to do it the third time. It becomes your way of living. You feel like whoever is below your class needs to respect you or has to respect you as a must. Or when I'm walking around the campus or the school, whoever looks at me has to, show respect. Because it's a way of life that you acquire. Then they get involved in crimes, as we have said, beating, bullying, use of drugs. Then struggle with employment. Because it catches up with you. It's the ripple effect. What happens here will keep happening, and even by the time you get employed, it's still using the same things and doing the same things at the same time. What can be done? Now this goes to the parents. I realize that we may be teachers here, but we may be parents at home. So what is there to be done as a parent? You need to listen and hear less. You remember when we had the parents training, and one of the parents said, I don't listen. My child will tell me to do this. I'm busy being busy. So we don't listen. And because we don't listen, that means we don't focus or look at them to understand what they are going through. And as I normally tell people, our facial expressions, and our emotions are 80% of what we don't say. It's the iceberg theory. And 10% or 20% is what we say. So don't believe in what I say, believe in what you see, how I express myself. So because we lack time, we're ever moving trying to work for our kids, and we forget we will have to work with our kids. So we are busy, even when they're feeling low, we can't tell because we have not taken time to notice that they are feeling low. 2, we need to be present. Don't mistake presence for presence. Give them the iPhone, the iPad, TV, blah, blah, blah. You're losing out. And because they cannot easily talk to you, so they'll keep isolated. They'll keep silent. Why? Because you're never there. The third aspect is that we need to talk about respecting boundaries. Respecting boundaries is not that you have to conform with everything. You have to accept in everyone. Because knowing when to say no. Knowing when to move on. Knowing when to speak. Knowing when to share something. Because it's not that all the time you can share. But how are you sharing? Do you know the time? Do you know when? You don't have to be involved in everything. So you help them to understand themselves best and then get to know what to do and what not to do. So that teachers like us train staff on bullying, on prevention and trauma care. This is what we are doing. We're trying to give you this awareness to get to know how does it start, when can you tell, and what can we do. This should be frequent, but we realize that actually it is happening, and the truth of the matter, it is happening. The second is we need to address small jokes before they grow. The ripple effect. The volcano will show one sign in a year that it's about to erupt, but if you don't notice those signs and keep there, it will burn you when it erupts. So we have to be conscious enough, to be present enough to look at those small jokes that the students are trying to bring across. Even us ourselves, the small jokes that we think are small, that we use, they may be affecting the kids. So are we able to notice them? Then we need to be present to observe the students' habits and actions. The same as parents. Be present. I know we have so much. You're thinking about this class, you have a next class, you're thinking about the work plan, and we lose sight of the students or the learners themselves. So it comes back to us. Are we able to identify our learners? Can you tell from the facial expression that actually, today you've changed. What's wrong? Are you okay? So you can't do that unless you're present to understand and to look at them keenly. Then we need to create safe spaces. To the students, we need to encourage them to speak up. They'll only speak up if they realize that the environment is created for us to speak up. The second, we need to encourage them to write certain things down. Write them down and maybe bring it to us, because every time you trust your brain, it is lying to you. It will forget. Somebody will bully you now and you move, you're like, okay, I'll report. At the end of the day, you become happy and forget about it. But if you write it down, it will remind you, like, I was supposed to take it to teacher Noreen, and you take it there. You need to also encourage them to write how they feel, how they think, write to themselves letters. I had last time, the learners were writing letters to their parents, right? That's a very good way of communicating. Maybe at times they're not free to have these conversations, but if they put it down in letters or in words, then the parents can get to understand what they actually feel. The third is avoid isolation. Keep close to people that care. We need to encourage them to keep closer. If they have friends, it doesn't matter how many friends they have, even if it's just one friend. Are they able to relate, to share, to connect with them? Because that's the one person who may pull you up when you're low. Then they have to also to keep evidence. When somebody bullies them, maybe when they slap them or when they pinch them. Some may get gum and put it on the seat, so this person can come and sit on it and they all laugh at them. Yes. So because they have smartphones or phones, they can save those messages, they can do screenshots, to come and show you actually this is happening. Then we have to encourage them not to use drugs, avoid toxic spaces. As they say, tell me your friends and I will tell you who you are. At times our environments determine who we are. So we need to give them this awareness on how to create their own spaces and keep people that are positive in their lives. They call it QOP, only quality people. Then we have to teach them how to believe in themselves. We said low self-esteem comes from low self-belief. And truth be told, everyone on this planet is special in their own way. So as you build your own confidence, as you build your own self-belief, make sure you're not inconveniencing the people around you. What is our checklist as teachers? 1, do you have time to listen? Because a lot is said. Listening not to somebody that comes to you, but listening even to a group. As you're teaching, are you listening to how these people are responding? Are you listening to how this person is responding to you or what he's saying? Because when you listen, then you'll pick some of the clues of the things that are happening in that space. Do students trust you enough to report? If no student has ever walked to you and told you something, there is a problem with you. That's the truth. There is a problem with you. That means either your ego is too high, or you're too tough, or you're too moody, or you don't relate. There is a problem. And out of practice, I've come to realize that every time we stand in front of learners and share our own experiences, they get to connect with us more. Are you sharing? It may not have happened to you. You are a teacher, you're trained to make up things. Make it up. Make it up as long as it's serving the purpose. And finally, do you have a clear reporting system? What is the system? Can somebody just come and go to the principal's office and report? Can somebody come and go to Noreen's office? Can somebody come and... What is that system? Is it clear? And do these learners know about the system itself so they can use it? It's something I want you to think about. And the more we open up ourselves to be available, the more we are trusted, the more we have these clear systems or pathways, then the easier we deter bullying. Because it is well, it is alive. As I started by saying, bullying is a weed. It may eat me up as a parent, it may eat you up as a teacher, it may eat up the student. By virtue of the fact that we have gotten this knowledge, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Now it's our time to go out and now research more, be present more, understand more. And the more we understand, be present, and open avenues for people to come to us, the better we weed it, and the more we grow the seed that is planted within us. Thank you so much.
So where is the thin line between bullying and that kind of training? And then another thing also, I think maybe we shall also need a session for workplace bullying. And then also, how do we develop resistance to bullying and draw positivity from bullying? Because bullying will be there. There are even, for example, in some culture, if you're a Mugiso and you are 45 and you have never been circumcised, you're a boy in the society. And that's bullying.
That's bullying.
And yet, it is part of the society says so. So if you become an MP, or if you become a CEO of a company, but culturally they take you as a boy, how do you resist that? So how do we develop resistance to bullying and draw positivity from it?
It's something that we need to understand, that actually we are going to be bullied. That's the truth. But bullying affects you more if you don't know who you are. Identity. Now, if you say in Bugisu that if you're 40 and you've not married, you're still a boy, are you actually a boy? Are you doing what boys do? If yes, yes, you're a boy. Then if no, If no, then you need to stick to what is. That's what I'm telling you. That you cannot please the environment, the society. You cannot. Even when David, as you've used, was doing good, people were trying to bring him down. But he knew who actually was.
A lot of people have stories and recaps of these things that have happened to them before. Now, for me, I have got to understand, I've gotten to the point that I understand the effects of what this has on people. Because I grew up being bullied because of the kind of tribe that I come from, that we are very dark, that we eat birds. They used to call us Badokolo, Banyongo, things like that. And it used to hurt me so much, you get? Because it's not everyone that comes from northern Uganda eats birds. You get the point? There are people, and even if they ate birds, I don't think it's a bad thing. You get? I have a sister, because of a result of being bullied, because of being from northern Uganda and all that, she got very violent, that she would beat them. Everyone that bullied them, she would beat them, because they would tell us, hey, you people are so strong. Hey, so she would tell them, let me show you my strength now. Let me show you that I am strong. For me, I got to realize that people from northern Uganda are beautiful, and they are intelligent, very intelligent. So when I learned that, I just raised my neck up high, I raised my head up high, and I know that northern Ugandans are beautiful and they are intelligent. So right now, even if you tell me, oh, you have so much strength, and I'm like, yes, I do have.
If you know yourself, you're very dangerous, because nothing outside of that will affect you, because you're ready. If you tell me I'm dark, yes, thank you for realizing that I am, because I am actually, right?
My observation is that as teachers, I think we have also seen that we are also bullying students by some of the things which have been listed. Thank God.
If you have a class and there are students, and there is a student you feel you cannot talk to because you know the parent, maybe the parent is somebody, you're being bullied. So bullying is well underlined. It's until we realize that some people are bullying us psychologically, then we'll awaken to get to know what we are supposed to do. Not to beat, not to do what, but there are so many ways of catching an elephant, right? So if we can learn those ways, then we'll live happy thereafter.
The funny thing is, kids will bully themselves at home on their phones, but the parents will bring it back to the school.
Yes.
Like we are supposed to do something about their children using phones in their homes. So we are kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Like, how do we get these children to understand that they need to use their phones nicely, but then also how do we convince the parents that some of these kids are still too young to maybe own phones, or they need to have these conversations with their children as well?
Actually, now the parents are bullying us because they have failed to do what they're supposed to do in their homes. Now they're shifting their responsibility to us, the teachers, to do their responsibility, and we don't want to open up to tell them, hey, look here, that's not my responsibility, this is your responsibility. And now start to guide them on what they're supposed to do. Truth be told, and it's going to come, we have been busy being busy, and we have shifted our responsibility. Now it is my responsibility. If I see something and I know your father, I'll call him and tell him, have you realized something with your son? Yes or no? He's doing this and this and this. And you'll hear the story. By the way, I've been seeing it. So what are you doing as the father? Is the question. Before they come to you, what are you doing? Right? So the more we have these conversations, the more we make the world a better place. The more the school invites the parents to give them that information, the more we open up. You are lucky as a school, and I want to give thanks to the principal that you have those moments where parents come here and you have those conversations. You need to stand your ground. Don't do duties or responsibilities that you're not meant to do. They expect you to give them knowledge, and they expect you to discipline them. But discipline does not start from school, ladies and gentlemen. That's from home. So if this child is spoiled here, track down and know they're spoiled from home. Call the parent and ask them. Now, the more you call them, the more they get frustrated, the more they become conscious. And that's how we make the world a better place. Thank you very much.
The time is now. Mine heritage empowering mine.